Cecil County in the world. Rob Churnside here for Cecil TV, and yes, it is Monday, March the 3rd, and I'm here with Don Mathis from the Susquehanna Workforce Network. Don, thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you, Rob.
We're in a very special place for your very special interview. So tell us about the Susquehanna Workforce Network.
Thanks, Rob. Susquehanna Workforce Network is a nonprofit agency, gets federal money to help people get jobs, find jobs, get training. You can go to Cecil Community College and get a certificate. You can go to Cecil Community College and work towards a degree. You can go to nursing school. You can get truck driver. You can be a welder. We can help you find jobs. If you're one of the unfortunate federal employees that's been laid off, you're called a dislocated worker. We have dislocated worker funds that we can help you recover that. We also have people that are professional certified resume writers, which you may not know that they're certified resume writers, but for people like the program I'm going to talk about tonight, Rob, Recovery Friendly Workplace, one of the first steps they need to do is have a good-looking resume that talks about that. We have staff people that do that. We have an office in Cecil County, 1275 Pulaski Highway, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
That's where the old Y was back in the day. Then Upper Bay.
Know
it well. And so you have the Recovery Friendly Workplace Program Initiative.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a rather recently new thing. Actually, there are now 30 states that do it. It started in New Hampshire. The premise is a couple purposes. One, there are a lot of people coming out of recovery from drug treatment and what have you that need work or need jobs. And because they still carry around that stigma of addiction, they're often not the most hireable people or look to be the most hireable people, even though they've got the incentive to work or what have you. And some employers are hesitant to take that kind of risk. The fact in Cecil County now, the unemployment rate here is 2.7%, which is remarkable. Yeah. That's really, really low. But the challenge for the business people, and at Susquehanna Workforce, 50% of our board are private sector business people, is the employers tell us, and they've been telling this for years, we can't find people to stick with the job that can follow directions, that know how to have customer service and show up and what have you. And despite the low unemployment rate, there is a tremendous need for workers. What the Recovery Friendly Workplace does, and we have a great workforce manager named James Maines, is one, he talks to employers and says, hey, we know some people in recovery that we think might make good employees for you. Two, I think we're all familiar with the overdose crisis that's in Cecil County and Maryland and nationwide. And there's a medicine called Narcan. And what that is, you shoot it up the person's nose if they've had an opioid overdose. And instead of them dying, they revive. Right. And that's one reason the fatal overdose rate has gone down. So one thing Recovery Friendly Workplace people do is they go to the employers and say, hey, we know you had an overdose in your restaurant or your restroom, or some of your employees talk about it. We'll give you free Narcan, thanks to Voices of Hope that provides that here in Cecil and beyond. Teach your employees how to use it, and they can have it there and what have you. And that entree, getting the employers to understand, hey, we can save somebody's life, and they might turn out to be a good worker, is an incentive to participate.
You know, I've seen that Narcan in the drugstore. It's like $47.
It's $47. Hang 'em left, you get it for free. 2-dose box, you get a free through our program, thanks to Voices of Hope in the health department, instead of $42. So that's an incentive right there.
Maybe, Don, there's an employer, a potential employer out there listening. How would they contact you?
They could go to the Workforce Center at 1275 North Pulaski Highway, talk to Debbie, who's the staff person there, or Patty rather. Her number is 410-996-0550. So employers can reach out there and say, hey, I've got some employment needs, or I've got some worker needs, can you help us fill it? And also, if somebody in their family is watching, is in recovery, or needs a second chance for a job or what have you, call the same number, 996-0550, make an appointment with Patty and come in to talk, and we can find what kind of program and training might help you get back in the labor market.
And help write their resume.
Help write their resume, do some mock interviews for training. I mean, if you've been away for a while, run through some pretend exercises. How do you answer a question? What looks good? Do you wear anything? Should you wear the tattoo that says Bud Light is my favorite beer? Probably not. Should you, dress in other ways? What should you say? What shouldn't you say? How do you explain the gap in your resume that you did something 10 years ago and you haven't done anything in the last 2 years because you were incarcerated?
Right.
There's ways of explaining that. And the good news is more employers are understanding that recovery is possible, treatment works. There are now drugs called buprenorphine and other things that can help people wean away and get off drugs. And the success rate for heroin addiction and fentanyl, which used to be 3%, is now closer to 40%. So, just as an aside, the good news is there's no more heroin in Cecil County.
Because
Fentanyl has taken over. So the stronger, more potent fentanyl has just knocked the bottom out of the heroin market, which in one sense is good, but it's been replaced by a more dangerous drug. The good news is Narcan, the reversal drug, does work on fentanyl.
that is good news. We were talking earlier about some of your other programs, the summer youth program.
Yeah, the Workforce Network, we've got a bunch of grants. We help young people get jobs and basically internships in the summer that they get a stipend for. Because you can't just say, hi, come on our summer program and work 12 hours a week and you won't get any money. So it consists of some on-site work experiences, but also, helping them reinforce this is why you're going to school, this is what you can learn, this is what employers are looking for, this is how you can use this experience to build on your employment record. Come back next year, what are the skills you've learned? And the young people that go through that, I used to be the director of the Boys and Girls Club. The young people that go through that say, yeah, this is a good thing. I mean, you say, it's kind of funky, why do I want to work for $15 an hour, which really isn't that bad for, a 16-year-old kid, a young person. You can build your record there. So there are programs for dislocated workers. We talked a little bit before about some of the federal layoffs that are happening. There's 3,000 some federal employees that live in Cecil County. They will be dislocated if the Elon Musk and the Muskrats, take over with their policies.
Yes.
But the Workforce Network is there to assist and to provide other kinds of services.
Well, let's hope these federal cuts are not as deep as they seem to be going, And my question is, what can we do to stop this?
Well, my response to your first comment, you hope the cuts aren't as deep. As we say in the South, bless you. The cuts are pretty serious, and I'm involved in some actions, not just in workforce and drug treatment, but other issues. We have to show what the impact of the program is. And also we have to show the impact, what happens if the program goes away. Right now we're getting people placed into jobs that have a record of substance use and maybe an incarceration record that would be very, very difficult to place without some kind of assistance and some kind of mentoring and guidance. If the programs get cut, if the drug programs get cut, if Voices of Hope and the Branchwood and other programs get cut, those people are going to be out on the street. They're not going to get medication. They're going to go to Union Hospital, and they're going to the emergency room where they have to be seen by law. And instead of them being treated by peer review specialists like me, I think I mentioned I'm in long-term recovery. I'm a peer recovery specialist.
Right.
I talk with people recovering in addiction. If there are no services or programs for them, no recovery house programs, they're going to be in the street, not get treatment. Emergency service, EMT people are going to have to come and administer Narcan instead of our staff, our peers administering Narcan, instead of us and the Workforce Network giving out Narcan. There'll be more overdoses. There'll be more taxed on law enforcement for having to deal with this, more taxed on first responders, and the emergency rooms, which are under tremendous pressure. And the cuts they're facing are real serious.
Right.
Real serious. That's going to be terrible. So what we do is just have to let the elected officials know these programs make a difference. This isn't a waste of money. If you cut these funding sources out, it's not going to be, oh, we've got this cash left over. The problems and the costs are going to be transferred to other systems that are more expensive, that are less successful, and will be overburdened. So there's no quick and easy way out of it.
No.
And the funding sources. So I know you've had the new county executive on the show. That's great. I know he's been the voices of hope and he's seen this. But every elected official, including Congressman Harris, needs to hear that this is not money being wasted.
Have you spoken with Congressman Harris?
I have communicated by letter with Congressman Harris. Yeah.
Letter. That's the way to get to him.
And I visited outside of his office for a couple of hours, waving a sign that we don't need to talk about. But
Okay.
I mean, I'm on Social Security. If they cut Social Security, that's my only source of income.
Yeah, as am I. And I'll tell you what, Don. Susquehanna Workforce Network is a good program.
It is.
Recovery-friendly workplace. You just explained to me and to our viewers how that it's actually beneficial to use those dollars that should be cut to help the community.
That's right.
Rather than face more extensive costs later.
That's right. And when people get hired, instead of being incarcerated and costing the county $35,000 a year, they're employed and they're paying taxes. They're, rejuvenating with their families. They're, being part of the community, and that's a tremendous savings.
Yes, it is. Amen. Did we miss anything?
No.
Thank you,
Great
my
job.
friend.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Cecil TV.